Hi, and welcome to the live kickoff of the Data Analyst Nanodegree program. We're really excited to be here with you and to take a few minutes to introduce ourselves and talk through a few things. So, quick agenda. First, we're going to start by doing introductions of different team members, of instructors. Then we'll move into a walkthrough of the classroom and the program, address some of the questions that we've been hearing most often. Then we'll do actually a quick walkthrough of the first project. In case some of you are having problems, we want to make sure that you get a little quick walkthrough and get an understanding of how that works. And then lastly, we'll have some time for Q&A. So we have some questions that are pre-sourced that we'll address, but then you can also post your questions in the Slack general channel or in the chat box in YouTube Live. Okay, hope you got all that. First, I want to introduce myself. I'm Sam Nelson. I'm the product lead on the program, which means I work with our industry partners and work with our team to make sure that the data analyst program is the best it possibly can be and can get you jobs in data analysis. Prior to coming here, I worked both. My first job was a data analyst, and I worked in data analysis for a long time, and then moved into product management, and now I get to do both. So now I'm going to kick it over to Matt.
Thanks. Hello, everybody. I'm Matt. I'm the curriculum lead for the Data Analyst Nanodegree program. I have been at Udacity for about 2 years now. Previously here, I've built a bunch of data courses, the deep learning program, which is also excellent. So hope you check that out after you're done with this one. And previously, before I came here, I was a physicist and a neuroscientist. I got my PhD about 2 or 3 years ago. And I've been programming for 15 years, working with data and like machine learning for like 7 years. And now I'm bringing all this like experience to you. So it's my job as the curriculum lead to kind of oversee all the curriculum and make sure you learn what you need to learn to be successful data analysts.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. And Mike.
Hi, I'm Mike. I'm the student experience lead on the program. Basically, my role will be to make sure that the mentors are getting you guys your help and making sure that the reviewers are giving you the reviews that you need on the projects that you'll be submitting. Before I came to Udacity, I was working on my PhD in cognitive science at the University of California, Irvine. Cognitive science is basically the application of mathematical models to psychology, and after that I was really interested in learning more about data and data science. So I came here to Udacity to learn more about that myself, as well as use my knowledge to help you guys achieve your goals as well.
Thanks, Mike. We also have 2 of our instructors that are remote, so I'll kick it over to Juno.
Hi everyone, my name is Juno and I'm a content developer at Udacity, and right now I'm focusing on the Python portion of the Intro to Data Analysis course. Before Udacity, I was a data scientist at Looplist, where I analyzed user behavior data and product data with machine learning and deep learning projects. I had a lot of fun learning these tools, and I'm really excited to share these with you guys.
Great, thanks Juno. And now go ahead, David.
Hi everyone, my name is David. I'm a CD at Udacity as well. I'm currently working on the data wrangling course in term 2 of the program. But my background a little bit, I'm a chemical engineering and economics major, and I worked in that field for a few years, but I was never really passionate about it. And at some point, I decided to pivot to data full-time. So instead of going back to university or college, I decided to create my own online data science master's program using several online courses, one of which was the Data Analyst Nanodegree program, which I'm a graduate of as well, or which you soon will be too. And yeah, I thought that Udacity was the best online provider, and which is a big reason why I'm here. And I'm super excited to share my knowledge with you.
Thanks, David. And now, as you can tell, we have some really great instructors, and they're super smart. And now I'm going to pass it over to Matt, and he's going to give you a little overview of the program and then walk through the classroom. So, Matt.
Hi, everybody. So I'm back. So now we're going to look at the classroom. So we can kind of see the classroom handling.
You got to share your screen.
Share the screen?
He's on.
Oh, he's on? OK, sorry.
So we can see like the general outline of the program here. So on the left in the sidebar, we have our syllabus. So it's kind of like a welcome lesson, and then you get introduced to Python. So Python is the kind of like the most popular programming language for doing data analysis. So this is why we chose to teach you this. Then you go through how to use Python for data analysis and look at statistics. So that makes up term 1 of the data analyst program. So in term 2, you start learning about exploring data and then data wrangling, which is about extracting data from multiple sources and cleaning it up and making it ready for analysis. And then finally taking that data and telling stories about it with Tableau. So if we can look at the classroom, we have our syllabus is over here, and if we click on these different parts, then it shows our lessons that each of these parts are made of. So for example, here we have this lesson on numbers and strings. And then we can check out Start, and this brings us to the lesson view. So from here, we can see each of these different pages. We have live help, mentorship, and all this. And here we have, if you click on this, you can get to your forums, office hours, the resource center, and you get videos and transcripts. And a little tip, you can actually collapse the sidebar by clicking on this little guy. So it's nice. And then here, you can actually search for various things that, like text that shows up in the classroom. And we also have navigation on the sidebar over here. So again, this will take you to your home, and this is, look at this. Apparently does not do anything right now. So this is also, should bring you to mentorship.
Okay, great. And now we're going to pass it over to Mike to talk through some of the services.
Right, so as you make your way through the Nanodegree program, you're going to have questions about some of the content, maybe have some questions about the projects. We have a number of different resources that are available to help you, get the help that you need in order to succeed. So, first of all, I want to talk about Slack. Slack is a chat program where you can connect with other students as well as some of the staff here at Udacity in order to get your questions answered. So, if you go to datascience.slack.com, you should have an invitation there to join. You'll see that there's a number of different channels there that will be able to help you sort of get your bearings with the program, to help you connect with students. I encourage you to all support each other by posting messages, posting answers, making use of threads in order to help each other go through the program. The features that you'll see here, the most important channels that you're going to find are the general channel, which is about sort of general chats. We have an announcements channel at the top that will be about Udacity announcements for events like this or other sort of program announcements, as well as all of these channels that are listed with T1 or T2. T1 channels are for things that are related to term 1 of the program, and then T2 are for term 2. If you have a channel that has another P number next to it, P0 or P1, those are for the individual projects and the courseware that is associated with each of those projects. So I encourage you to make use of each channel as appropriate in order to make the most of Slack. One important thing about Slack is that we have office hours, T1 office hours and T2 office hours. There is a calendar that you can find in order to be able to know when we are hosting office hours. A couple times per week, we're going to host 1 hour of office hours where one of the Udacity members is going to answer your questions about the Nanodegree program, whether it be conceptual questions or whether it be project questions. Feel free to go in there during the scheduled times, and we'll do our best to answer all of your questions. Within the classroom itself, there's a couple of additional options that are available for you for support. So when you are on a classroom page like this one, you'll find in the lower left-hand corner this Live Help button. When you push the Live Help button, it will bring up this menu for Live Help. Live Help is really useful for if you are in the moment, have a question about a concept or have a question about something about a project. Fill in these boxes, click on the Find Me an Expert button, and then when an expert is available to you, one of our mentors, they'll resend a message back to you and you'll work with them to help get your question answered. Use this at any time that you're feeling stuck and you need that help immediately. In addition, there's another feature in here called mentorship. You won't find the mentorship button here in the classroom, but you will find the mentorship button here on the left side when you are on your main menu. Mentorship is available for you through the first 2 projects of your term. And you'll use the mentorship not necessarily for content questions or project questions, but about questions about the sort of way that you go through the program. So if you have a question about what kind of pacing should I be taking, or what kind of things should I be going through in the lessons, or what should I be aiming for, you can use your classroom mentor to help you pace your projects, pace your going through the projects, going through the program at a proper pace.
Great. Thank you, Mike. I'm sure that was really helpful for a lot of people. And that's one of the great things about Udacity is that it's not just about content and videos. It's just not about reading and taking quizzes. We're here to help. And whether that's through Slack or through our experts or through our mentors, we really want you to be successful in this program and ultimately be able to land a job or a promotion in the data science field. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm sure some of you have questions. We'll hold those for a few more minutes. I'm going to jump into the first project of term 1, and then we'll move to questions after that. Cool. So back to the computer. So in this welcome part, welcome to term 1, down at the bottom, we have explore weather trends. So weather trends is weather data in general is a hot topic right now. A lot of people don't trust a lot of the analysis that's happening, but there's some really interesting things going on. And we actually have a link here in the project that talks about how climate scientists actually measure temperature data, which I found really interesting. And so we have a huge amount of weather data in here, and so in this project, you take the weather data, the average global temperatures, and you compare them to your local city, the one closest to where you live. And you also have the opportunity to look at a whole bunch of cities around the world if you'd like to compare. So there are 4 steps in this project. First, you extract the data from a database. Then you open it up in a CSV. You create a line chart in the spreadsheet. You can use other tools as well, but this is sort of how we've set it up, is to do it in a spreadsheet, but you can use Python if you know it. But again, this is before our Python course, so we don't expect you to know that yet. And then you make a few observations and answer some questions. Is your city hotter than the average or colder than the average? Have the trends in the temperature in your local city followed that of the global temperatures? So to get started, you want to access that data from the database. And so one of the new features we have at Udacity is what we call a SQL workspace, which is loading up right now, where you can of course download data and use a SQL tool on your laptop. But what's nice about this is you can just do it all directly in the classroom. You see here, you can see the list of tables. The city data, the city list, and the global data. And then if you hit the drop down here, you can see all the different variables within that. So a good place to start with this project is picking the city that you want to analyze. And so you can look here, the city list. There's just 2, city and country, that you can search from. Also, if you want a little bit more space, especially if you're on mobile, you can toggle schema panel and hide that. I always like to have it up because it's nice to know the variable names. So to start, you can just type in select. I'm going to select star from city list. You can a trick is you can hit Control Enter to run that rather than having to click on evaluate, or you can just click here. And you can see the whole list of all the city names. Now, one thing is that this is ordered by the city name, so that maybe is not as helpful if you want to start with country. So you may want to say order by country. So there you go. You can start with the country. So maybe you live in Argentina and you pick the country, the city that's close to you. Let's say it's Cordoba. And so now when you go over here to the city data, and you can see the variables there, you can select all the data for Cordoba. So you have a where clause. It's where city equals Cordoba. And we can delete this. There you go. And you can download this data directly to a CSV. Oops, let's not go to numbers. And then you can pull that up in a spreadsheet and create a line plot pretty easily with just these average temperatures. So let's go. So that would be kind of the step by step. Now, and one of the important things is that in the lesson for this project is you learn how to do a moving average, which can remove a lot of the variation in a line plot to better understand the trends, which you can do pretty easily in a spreadsheet. So once you have a line chart, it's just about making observations about that data. Where do the lines diverge? What are some overall trends? When has it been colder versus when has it been hotter? And what's most interesting is how have the trends been in the last 100 years? So that's sort of an overview of how to get started with the project. We don't want to give away too much because you do have to show your skills, and and then get reviewed by a reviewer. So once you're done, you move here. You have a few more instructions about just like submit it as a PDF. Make sure you look at your rubric. And actually, I'll pop open the rubric real quick here, and you can actually look at this is exactly what the reviewers are going to use. What is the criteria, and what does it mean to meet specifications? This is what the reviewers are looking for. So make sure you review this before submitting your project. Once you're ready, you hit Submit Project, and you upload your file and submit. And within often within a few hours or within a few days, you'll get feedback from a reviewer. And that is the first project. So please, if you have questions, make sure you note them down or post them in Slack. We will be taking those in just a minute. So that kind of concludes the schedule that we had planned for you all. Again, thank you so much for tuning in on this. We don't do these live broadcasts very much, and so this has been a lot of fun for us. And so now we'll move to questions.
All right, so we have a number of questions coming in. Thank you for participating. We will continue to sort of answer questions. If we don't have enough time to capture them during the live stream, we will also be available for a short time after the live stream in the sort of office hours channels to be able to answer questions afterwards. So first of all, on the calendar that is provided for the office hour times, they are always in the Pacific time zone. We'll try to make them as, so that we can capture as many people as possible, but if you're trying to figure out when you can get in on that, then you should know that it's Pacific time zone. First question we have is, how exactly do mentors work with the changes to the course, and how do mentors work in general? So classroom mentors and live help are slightly different. So with classroom mentors, you have one assigned to you when you sign up for the program, and that mentor will help you through the first 2 projects of the nanodegree program. So you can contact them sort of on a weekly basis or as an as needed basis in order to help you understand what is going on with the program, where you should be, what you should be doing. They will be notified as well about sort of what's going on with the program, but basically if you have a question about what's going on, they'll be the ones to help you. Live help, on the other hand, you may not get the same person each time that you go to live help. It will be picked up as sort of the live help mentors are available to you, and they will one by one sort of go through questions, help you as they come in.
Great. So the next question is regarding Tableau versus D3. So we previously had D3 as part of the program, and we've replaced that with Tableau. I actually think Matt, go ahead, did I?
We should say what the question is. Do you think learning Tableau is more helpful than D3? I'm not sure why D3 has been replaced by Tableau and want to know your reasons and recommendations.
Sure. So I can answer that. So basically, D3 is just a JavaScript library, right? So it actually takes a whole bunch of writing JavaScript code to make a fairly simple visualization. And from what I've read, basically only the New York Times actually uses D3, and it's because the inventor of D3 works at the New York Times. And the deal with Tableau is that it's very simple for pretty much anybody to make really engaging, interactive visualizations. So as a data analyst, it's very rare that you would actually work with D3 in your daily job, and much more likely to work with Tableau. And along those lines, so one way we actually decide what our curriculum is going to be is we look at job descriptions for data analysts. And I did this, and about 50% of the job descriptions I saw required experience with Tableau, and none of them said D3. So that's basically our reasoning behind why we are teaching Tableau instead of D3.
Great, thanks, Matt. That's perfect. The next question is, do we need a PhD to succeed in a data analysis career? And these two guys have PhDs, so I'm going to answer that one because I don't. And the answer is no, definitely not. So my first job coming out of school, out of having a bachelor's degree, was a data analyst. And I worked with other data analysts, and now several of them are data scientists across Silicon Valley, including at Uber, at Google, at all these places. And they just have bachelor's degrees, and they've just picked up the skills like Python, like machine learning along the way, whether it's on the job or in a course like Udacity. I recently read a great article from the company Degree that says the future doesn't care how you got your skills. It's about having the right skills. Definitely. Of course, we're advocates of this, but I think I'm an example of someone who's worked in the data field without having an advanced degree. The next question, what are the top skills to become a successful data analyst?
Right, so to be a...
All right, Matt can take it.
I can do this one.
Yes.
Yeah, so as a successful data analyst, top skills, probably like the top skill as far as programming language is SQL. Here at Udacity, almost all of our data analysts actually use SQL on a daily basis. That's what they do most of their analysis in. I have friends from graduate school who have PhDs and they went on to become data scientists, and most of their time is spent writing SQL queries. If that's one thing you're going to focus on, I mean, that's like the biggest thing that you need to be really good at as a data analyst. And then also just being able to think about data, right? To look at visualizations and understand what they're telling you, and knowing what questions to ask about the data. And knowing if you need to compare these two things or compare these two things, and kind of know where you can get tripped up and misinterpret data. So just thinking about data is a very important skill to have. And then also, so now we're teaching Python also along with SQL. A lot of employers kind of expect you to be at least intermediate with Python, and we're constructing our curriculum so that you're using Python a lot. So as you're learning about data analysis, you're also learning Python. So hopefully by the end, you'll be skilled with SQL and Python and understand how to actually ask questions and answer those questions and make decisions with data.
Great. I actually have a follow-up on that. So another benefit of Python is it is a general use language. It's not just for data analysis. And so in terms of advancing your career, it opens up a lot of opportunities. For example, a lot of machine learning engineering is done in Python. And you also we have programs in artificial intelligence, deep learning. A lot of that, as long as you know Python pretty well, you can go and tackle those fields. And so it opens up a lot of opportunities. And one thing also to add to that is, I was talking with a friend of mine who's a data scientist at Apple, and he says he'll meet people who know the technical skills pretty well, but he'll give them a data set and they'll dive in and start trying to build a model on it, when really it's just really, really messy data. And really, in the end, there's no analysis that you can do on it. And so having that kind of intuition from learning from practice, like Matt was talking about, is just really being able to think about it right, is really important. So as you're going through the program, for example, with the course that David is teaching on data wrangling, it's not just about the Python. It's not just about the SQL. It's about the methodology of analyzing data correctly and then making the connection from the data analysis to the insight or the recommendation or the decision. A lot of companies, they spend a lot of money on analytics and they don't see the value come through to the business because they don't have enough people thinking about that connection. So that's really important. Okay, we have a few more.
All right, next question. What kind of career services do you provide for data analyst grads? This is actually a really cool question because we just released something on the site that will help people with Their career searches. So there's this icon here on the left side of the tab board called My Career Portal. And the career portal is where your projects, when they're completed, they can be added to the portal, as well as a bunch of different activities that you can do in order to help yourself get career ready. So for example, I believe we have a resume review, we have a technical interview prep. Stuff like that will help you get career ready as you go through the program and when you finish it.
Excellent. And actually, we just had a blog post about the career portal because it just launched the last day or two. So you can go there to read more about it.
The
What's up next?
question we have, the practical statistics course. Is the practical statistics course available for free too? As I'm enrolled in term 2, I wanted to go through the practical statistics for free, but couldn't find it in the catalog.
Right. So I can answer that. So the practical statistics course, we are currently in the process of finishing it, so it is not available for free yet. However, we do have some excellent statistics courses out there. So I believe Sebastian Thrun teaches a stats course, and we're actually using a lot of the material from that stats course in this practical statistics part of the program. So if you are looking for some excellent stats material now to get ready for term 2, definitely look for our stats course with Sebastian. So we have this intro to statistics.